Well, a couple of days ago, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't seen it, I made a video about the Mesmer Slam Dunk. So that is the incantation where you go in the air, you slam dunk into the floor, and you do a big explosion and it knocks down. So that idea was around having an attack that uppercuts someone, so Giant Hunt as an example, and using the knockdown to run up and use your incantation that normally takes a bit too long, or it is a bit of like a hard incantation to use because it has no hyper armor at the start. So this build is a little bit different. First of all, I'm not using a claymore, I'm using a different weapon to see if it is possible to have a different weapon that synergizes with Giant Hunt. Yes, the running attack on the halberd into Giant Hunt is an extremely consistent roll catch. Doesn't stop here though. Every single attack pretty much, like the R2, the R1, even a crouch attack into Giant Hunt, functions like a roll catch. But it doesn't stop here. This is also really good against mashers because the hit stun on the halberds are laughably high. So if they try to mash in between, you're already in your hyper armor frames with Giant Hunt, so you just uppercut them into the skies. But the big difference here, compared to the other build I did, is the incantation of choice, which is quite arguably the coolest looking incantation in the game. However, it might be the loudest as well, which is Bayles Tyranny. That is very loud. I'm not sure if I have to fix this while editing because the audio on my side is very loud. But why this incantation? First of all, it looks sick as fuck. That's probably the main reason why I wanted to make this work. However, the damage on this incantation is extremely high, and I don't even have the right stats for this. I only have 50 arcane, and I have 0 investment in faith, and it still did around 1200 to 1300 raw damage. So again, it is pretty much the same as a Mesmer Slam Dunk synergy. You just get an attack, Giant Hunt into it, and then you run up and do this. This felt extremely consistent. There's only one way you can truly avoid this entire setup. Well, 2 ways, but one is, you know, your average Elden Ring moment, which is latency. If they have overlapping iframes, they can just roll twice and they're out. However, the only way you avoid this setup is the moment you get knocked down, you instantly have to queue 2 back rolls, and that's it. If you do 1 front roll into 1 back roll, you're too late, the AoE will hit you, you die. If you wait and try to react to what happens and then you queue your roll, you are too late. If you try to mash in between it, so you're like, oh look, he's charging the animation, you're out of luck because it has hyper armor, and it has a lot of hyper armor. So yeah, this is really consistent and extremely fun because, again, it's just one of those incantations that is just very satisfying to hit. And I'm very glad to see that we found a way to make it work. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.